he's not as good. Behind this coward's back, it will only become more dangerous. Lan Wu shouted to the owner that she wanted to quickly climb the mountain. There were more ghosts there than at the foot. Approaching Luo Xiang, he told the couple that most likely she doesn't know, but Li Taishuan fights well. He is very strong and dangerous. Last night a guy beat up that little bully from their school. It was so amazing she would never have believed it if she hadn't seen it with her own eyes. The girl replied that this worthless loser, what is he even capable of? He may have learned a few tricks, but can he be as cool as her boyfriend? He is not only a provincial kickboxing champion, but even placed in the top 10 in the National Fighting Championship. Even if 10 Zhao attacked together, they would not be a match for her boyfriend. Let him tell her how Li Taishuan can handle her boyfriend. Li Taishuan didn't understand how this rabble could be so arrogant in front of this deity, when they don't even know that Zhao Jian is a disciple of that famous Chen Xikong. The girl said that if he has evidence, then let him present it. Otherwise, she will think that he is just bragging about his friend. The guy realized that it didn't matter. It was useless to explain anything. Now, the most important thing to do is to save the class leader as quickly as possible. We can't waste our time on these useless mortals. There was a fork ahead, and it looked like one of the paths should lead faster to Mount Sangmong. The guy told Kayan to take action using the GPS to find out which way they should go. He replied that, judging by the location of the girl's mobile phone, if briefly to the left is faster. Suddenly, Lan Wu shouted to the right. Qian shouted that the little one shouldn't talk nonsense. To the right, it's a long way, they shouldn't go there. She asked who he called petty. Yes, the girl is good enough for his mother. Z said that they would go to the left instead of arguing with some ignorant girl. Li Taishuan replied that he could only say one thing. If they take the left road, they will all die. Z asked, what is going on? The guy said that they would die if they entered the mountain, but they are still alive. Now he's talking this nonsense again. Does he really think he won't hit him? Luo Xiang said that's enough since he doesn't want to go with them. Let him go his own way. They will only get rid of excess ballast. Qian said that he had been putting up with him for a long time. If it weren't for Xi, he would have killed him long ago. He felt that there was something unclean on the path to the left. If they follow that path, it will be tantamount to death. Feng Xiaodong told the guy that he didn't seem to be able to get along with them very well. After all, the girl was their classmate. They better go get them. If anything happens along the way, please let him take care of them. Last night, the guy saw firsthand how good his friend was in combat. Although Z looks big and strong, he is no match for Li Taishuan. It's a pity that others still don't understand this. After thinking, he said that it was good. He would give them another chance. Luo Xiang said that this path is so difficult to walk, and it is dark. Doesn't the guy think the trees on both sides of the path look like monsters? The girl asked why don't they come back in the morning. Xi replied that he was here. She should not be afraid. Looking back, the guy said that the coward was probably scared. He really thought that he was strong, but in the end, they just follow him around for protection. However, he decided that if danger arose, he would get rid of the three of them as soon as possible. Suddenly, they heard cries for help. The girl said that her grandfather's leg was pressed by a stone. Please help them. Lan Wu told the owner that there was something wrong with these two. The girl did not feel people in them. Feng Xiaodong told the guy that the old man's leg was pinned by a stone. They should go help. Taking his friend's hand, the guy said that let him stand there. Let him leave them alone. Looking at them, the guy thought so. The old man and the girl are the spirits of this place who come out to harm people. There are many spirits in this game. They bring chaos to the world and do not want to go to the circle of reincarnation and suffer, so they turned into lonely ghosts there and commit countless evils and murders. Unfortunately, these spirits do not understand that in order to continue living, they must move on to the next world. You only need to go forward, understand the secret of Tao, throw off the shackles of this world, break through the void and rise to the immortal world. Z said that he seems to be a real coward. He said that let Kion go and help the old man. Let him not be like some cowards who are already afraid of everything from the cradle. The guy replied that it was good. Approaching the old man, he said that he would help him move this stone. The old man said thank you to the young man. He has a good heart. God will protect him. Hugging him, the girl said that his older brother is so cute. Turning to the guys, he asked what the coward would say now. Horror froze on the boys' faces. Lan Wu thought it was child's play. Kyung asked, what happened to Ji? Why are they all looking at him so strangely? Luo Xiang started screaming that there was a ghost there. The guy asked him to turn back and look. The ghost said that the young man was really a good person. He was very hungry that night, and now the food itself came for him to eat. The guy started screaming for Ji to save him. Having run away, she did not attack. But he realized that nothing worked. He thought, how could this be? This blow could easily break a board more than 10 cm that thick, but this old man didn't even move. He struck again and again, when suddenly the ghost turned and told the young man to stop disturbing him from eating. Don't let him worry. As soon as he finishes eating, he'll take care of it too. Z realized that it was really a ghost. Did it really eat his friend? Having hit the guy, the ghost told him to first move away from him. She said that she only eats girls who are more beautiful than her. He thinks the girl will be delicious. Luo Xiang began to shout that she should not come near her. The ghost said that she had not eaten human flesh for several decades, and tonight she would enjoy this delicious dinner. Luo Xiang screamed for the guy to help her. Grabbing a huge stone in his hands, Ji threw it straight at the ghost, but as expected, nothing happened to him. Turning around, he shouted that the guy was now a dead man. He sucked everything he could out of him and the guy's lifeless body fell to the ground. Looking at the girl, the ghost said that now it was her turn. She didn't understand what they should do. Her boyfriend is dead. Looks like they're all going to die there tonight. The ghost told the little girl not to waste her energy. Let him just eat her. At this time, Feng Xiaodong asked the guy to do at least something. They were all classmates. He was the only one who could save her. A great master can destroy everything in his path with just his word. The ghost said that it was no wonder that he dared to enter the mountain, but the guy still had to die tonight. Two ghosts merged together, after which they began to attack the guy. Li Taishuan defended himself in time. The ghost slammed right into his defenses. Calling him a pathetic man, the ghost asked the guy, does he think he can stop him with this? Suddenly he realized that he had been caught. I started asking when the guy managed to put him there. Let him go from there right now. Li Taishuan replied that he was going to let him go because of his difficult life and difficult cultivation, but since he was so ungrateful, let him die. The ghost realized that this man was too powerful. He must report this immediately, must immediately report this to Grandmaster Chen. Suddenly, just as he wanted to escape, Lan Wu managed to grab him. The ghost shouted for the girl to let him go, or he would eat her. She asked if she wanted to eat it. But in her opinion, it also looks delicious. Luo Xiang couldn't believe her eyes. The guy was so strong that he crushed that terrible demon in one fell swoop. On the contrary, Ji Zhan, who could not do anything at all. And this is the same modest and weak Li Taishuan from his school days. How could he change so much? It turns out that they were the ones making fools of themselves and the guy wasn't paying attention to them at all. He said it was time to go. The class leader was still waiting for them to save her. The girl asked, since he had such a powerful power to save everyone, why didn't he do it earlier? Then your two guys wouldn't have died. Li Taishuan asked, does she think it was because of him that those two died? Let him not forget. He said not to go there, even at the beginning. He said not to go when they arrived in these mountains, and also at the fork. He also said not to go along this path. But instead of listening to him, they tried to be witty. Despite this, the guy decided to give her another chance for the sake of Feng Xiaodong. When they met that old man, he warned them to leave him, But in response, they received only ridicule. Simply put, he was already trying to save them all the way. But did any of them listen to his words? Fang Xiaodong asked the girl to calm down. The guy saved her life. He is her savior. Luo Xiang answered how good a person with such strength would stand aside and watch someone get killed. The guy thought that he shouldn't speak. This girl doesn't listen to him. The girl asked, when will they find her? Suddenly, the class leader appeared in front of them. The girl was tied with chains. Fan Xiaodong asked the guy, what the hell is going on with the class president now? This looks creepy. Li Taishuan replied that someone was forcibly sacrificing the girl, forcing her to absorb the cold, evil Qi from the mysterious iron chain. Ordinary people cannot resist this cold, evil Qi, but Zhang Lijuan is the owner of the 9 yin Qi body. Therefore, this is what is in her body that can suppress all this amount of evil Qi. However, the cold, evil Qi is too strong, and Zhang Lijuan's 9 yin Qi is still too weak. If this continues, then the girl is afraid she will not be able to withstand this amount of evil Qi and will simply become a walking corpse. Seeing him, the girl asked what he was doing there. Let him quickly get out of there before it's too late. When suddenly the chains let go of the girl, he shouted to the class leader to hold on. The guy will now help her. Suddenly, Master Chen appeared in front of them. Zhang Lihuan began to ask to let her friends go. They didn't understand what they were doing. She promised that the guys wouldn't tell anyone anything. Chen Sikong replied, no way. These kids will never get out of there alive. But since they are her friends, he will arrange a quick death for them. Throwing a knife towards the guy, he told him to commit suicide. If the master personally deals with this, his death will be more pitiful anyway. Li Taishuan asked, who gave him the right to speak to him so arrogantly? Let him kill himself on the spot and maybe his death won't be so pitiful. Let Zhang Lihuan be released immediately. Otherwise, let him not blame the guy for being rude. Luo Xiang thought that this was the legendary Master Chen. The guy is dead because he watched her boyfriend get killed and did nothing. This is retribution. The master's fame spread very far. He is God. He is even higher than the gods. For him, killing this guy is like stepping on an ant. Master Chen replied that he knew the guy was good. Otherwise, he would not have killed those 2 mountain spirits so easily. Even his disciple Yin Feng was one. As for the young lady, he knows that she hates this guy and blames him for not saving her young man. Otherwise, he would not have died in vain. The master asked, does she want to kill this guy in order to avenge her young man? It was clear from the girl that she was hesitating. The girl replied that yes, this guy was able to save the 2 of them, but he watched them die. People like him deserve to die, so she begs Master Chen to kill him to relieve her hatred. Chen Sikong replied that such an ant is not worthy to die by his hand. Since she wants revenge, he will give her such a chance. Handing her the bead, the master told her to accept it. Only in this way could the girl kill this bastard and avenge her boyfriend. The girl took the bead. Fang Xiaodong shouted to the girl that there is no need, this guy just saved her life, and this is how she decided to repay him as a sign of gratitude. Li Taishuan realized that this bead contains cold yin qi, which Zhang Lichuan's body absorbed. In fact, as expected, the master has no good intentions. Having absorbed it, the girl shouted that she wished for the strength of 100 ghosts. She shouted for this guy to go to hell, and then began to attack him. Fan Xiaodong didn't understand how Luo Xiang stood up so terrifying, and the force of this blow literally knocked him off his feet. The friend shouted at the guy to be careful. She asked the guy isn't running away? Well then, the girl can rip his heart out. Li Taishuan realized that after forcibly absorbing so many ghosts and spirits at the cost of her own life, the darkness in her body would eventually consume her from within. He understood that it was still just an insect, except for the terrible appearance. What is the difference? How dare she challenge this venerable one? The girl really went crazy. Lan Wu told the owner that after she absorbed that evil spirit, it took her some time to regain her appearance. She didn't realize that this place could help her gather so much ghostly yin qi. It helped the girl restore and improve her cultivation. She shouted to Luo Xiang that she would show her what a true demonic practitioner was. After the girl attacked her, she fell to the ground. She didn't understand how this could be. She said that she would not accept this. Approaching the owner, the girl said that she had become even stronger than before. Li Taishuan replied that so far so-so. She started screaming, "What do you mean so-so? It's not that bad. I realized that I could no longer maintain my appearance." Master Cien said that he did not think that the guy would reach the level of a great master. He entered the kingdom of transformation. But so what? Ultimately, today he met exactly him, so the guy will die in despair and hatred. Having sealed the guy, the master began to say that he had warned the young man. The guy was not his rival. He won't be able to break his seal. In a few moments, his life will be erased from this world. He will be the source of energy for this old man's development. If the guy knows what is good for him, let him beg for mercy, and maybe the master will let him live. Li Taishuan broke the seal. The guy asked how dare the master use such low-level seals against him. Master Chen didn't expect that this child could break his seal, but his strength had already surpassed the transfiguration realm, and he was half a step away from the god realm. He said that he admits that he underestimated the guy, but since he does not want to obey him, the master will have to kill him. He began to shout that in this space created by the blood of his life, his strength would increase incredibly. So no matter how great a practitioner he is, he has no chance in this space. Calling him a pathetic mortal, the master said that he was a demon lord. Let the guy kneel before him. Lan Wu, looking from the side, thought to turn the entire Cangmong mountain into hell on earth. The strength of that old man is truly terrifying. Li Taishuan asked, did he call himself a demon lord? Even the greatest immortal demons fell to their knees at the sight of him. If this is all he can do, then the battle is already over. The guy shouted to him to come down from heaven to earth. Master Chen replied with some loud words. Then she began to attack back. He said that the young man was as slow as a worm, too slow to fight him. Fighting against him is like trying to break a stone with an egg. It is suicide. His attack hit the guy. The master said this is what happens when someone messes with him. Suddenly, he saw that the guy's body began to dissipate, after which it completely disappeared. Suddenly, the master behind his back heard the words that he was too slow, like a worm, too slow to fight with him. The guy returns this sentence to him, unchanged. Li Taishuan shouted the emperor's celestial body, one finger piercing the mountains and seas. The master did not understand how it was possible that the ability he had worked on all his life was easily destroyed by this child. Approaching him, the guy said that if he didn't want to see what an earthly cultivator was capable of, he would have erased it from the earth long ago. He couldn't even accept one of his movements. He was sure that if he continued to resist, he would die. Kneeling down, he began to ask the elder not to kill him. Stepping on his head, Li Taishuan told Luo Xiang that her revered Chen was right under his feet. Now, does she have anything to say? She realized that if they had known this, they would not have been there. If only we had listened to this guy from the very beginning. The girl began to ask him for forgiveness and say that she was sorry. Please give her another chance. Suddenly the chains grabbed the girl and began to suck out her energy. Looking at Master Chen, the guy asked, "Is this his doing?" The man replied that it was not his fault. This altar was built on the mountain many years ago, and these chains are so evil that even he cannot control them when they go crazy. He knows nothing about this place except that it is where he practices his cold yin qi. The master began to say that for many years he had difficulty raising his cultivation. If the guy doesn't kill him, he's willing to work like a horse to repay him for his kindness. Li Taishuan thought that in the future, As his cultivation level continued to improve, there would be more and more things to do. After all, Liu Pa is a simple person with limited abilities. He could use someone with some power. The guy replied that if he realized his place, he would leave him alive. But from now on, he will do whatever the guy says. The master replied that from now on, his life belongs to the guy. He will do whatever he wants. Now let him get out of there. He will call him when he needs him. Feng Xiaodong wondered, is this really still the Li Taishuan he knew? How could he change so much? This black pearl is the original essence of Zhang Li Huan's mysterious body, 9 yin. The cold yin qi energy on the bead was also absorbed from these iron chains. That's why Luo Xiang was able to absorb so many ghosts. It seems that the secret of the 9 yin body is greater than he thought. Chun Sikong used the girl's body feature to absorb and process the cold yin qi energy for his own cultivation. But now that the guy has taught him a lesson, he is sure that the man will not dare to harm anyone again. When she woke up, the girl thanked him for saving her. As for the mysterious chains, they are both bizarre and dangerous. If he acted rashly now, he would endanger his friends, just like what happened to Luo Xiang. He should wait until he gets stronger and then come back to check. Zhang Lijuan kept saying that the guy is so amazing. She asked where he learned this skill. Even Master Chen was defeated by him. Li Taishuan said that he once went alone to Mount Shu, got lost, and fell off a cliff. Luckily, he was saved by a mysterious old Taoist priest who taught him this skill. The girl thought that since he did not want to tell the truth, she could not interrogate him. Everyone has their own secrets. Feng Xiaodong had always thought of this guy as a younger brother who needed to be looked after, but now he was the one he needed to look after. Li Taishuan did not expect that after this trip there would be some kind of barrier between him and the guy. But Feng Xiaodong is still his friend. No matter what happens to him, the guy will always lend him a helping hand. Lao Li told the guy that every year before the family holiday, his uncles always have a family dinner. But Yunzhou is a small city with only one 3-star hotel. His uncle thinks that the only way to show his family's status is to book a table there. This year they didn't even invite them, father and son, to a family dinner. Li Taishuan asked her father not to worry. It used to be the Zhao family's hotel, but now it is their family's property. He would like to see who decides to go against them. The guy said that, by the way, my father had never worn a decent watch before. This is the new watch that Ouyang Pei bought for him. Let him try it on. Lao Li replied that that girl is such a nice child. This watch is probably very expensive. As soon as the door opened, all the relatives immediately paid attention to them. The man asked what the third elder was doing there. He thought that they had been warned not to come, but why did they have the nerve to come? They have no right to come to such a luxurious hotel. Sitting at dinner with such poor souls will only make things worse for their family. He can't let others see this. A man cannot lose face. The guy thought that in his previous life his father did not have the courage to sit with these scum. But now he, Li Taishuan, is a respected figure in the immortal world that everyone should worship. They are honored to see him at his worst. This place should be reserved for Li Shuiyun, but he is still in the hospital, so the guy cannot come yet. Li Taishuan replied to Li Chenglin that this hotel now belongs to him. They are there to eat just so they shouldn't care. The man asked the third elder what his son's upbringing was like. He returned from Huzhou a few days ago, but it seems that all he learned there was bragging. And anyway, how dare the guy call him by name? He still sees him as an uncle. Lao Li asked his brother not to be angry. He said that the guy was not lying. His son is not the same as he used to be, so don't look down on him. They will still be surprised by him. Laughing, Qin Yun asked, "Is he talking about Li Taishuan now?" The man wanted to save his face, but since he was bragging like that, let him not be seen for revealing his secret. I heard that the guy was a trainee teacher at a city school with a salary of 3,000 to 4,000 a month, and now he became the boss there in the blink of an eye. Or is the guy really the king of the monkeys with his 72 transformations? The man didn't think like that, so stop talking in the clouds and carrying all this nonsense. The girl asked Qin Yun's brother to forget about it. They should not trample in honor of Li Taishuan and his father. The third uncle is already so old that he is ready to help his son with his lies. They are so sure of their lies that others must laugh at them so much. Everyone should be noble. The man replied that the cousin was right. We need to be noble. Turning to the guy, the uncle said that since he says that he is the general manager of this 3-star hotel, the front desk manager is obliged to come to him to accompany him while he eats there. It's outrageous that he didn't come, but the man said that everything was fine. He knew him. Qin Yun began to say that he would now call him and tell him to come and have a drink with their master. Li Chenglin asked why the third elder was doing this to him. He didn't let him come because he wanted to save his face. He's just trying to help him. The man replied that it was true. He was of the same opinion. His family was not worthy to be on an equal footing with them. Is he worthy to sit there and drink and eat with them? His son, Qin Yun, is now the deputy headmaster of the private noble school. He is not as good as his brother's son, Zhue Yun, but he still has a bright future. Even in the city, he is a famous person. The woman turned to the third elder and began to say that maybe this was normal for the little guy, but he shouldn't support his lie. When the manager comes, she will watch how the two of them get out. By calling themselves the director of the hotel, they dug their own grave. Mr. Chen entered the door. Qin Yun began to speak to let him introduce a man who claims to be the general manager of their hotel. Anything about this? He started shouting that this was absurd. Why didn't the man hear about it? Where the hell did he come from? The guy is too cheeky pretending to be the boss of their hotel. Does he know that this hotel is owned by the Zhao family, and their son came there with his classmates for dinner the night before last? Qin Yun turned to the guy and said that the hotel reception manager is there. What will he say now? The man replied that, as they say, it doesn't matter whether he is poor or has no future, but he cannot lie and brag. The woman asked, "What was the point of all this?" "I'm sorry, I'm disappointed. This is not a place for the poor, and they didn't just come to humiliate themselves." Mr. Chen was thinking that it looks like this entire room is full of people targeting this guy. Then he just has to add fuel to the fire. The man started yelling at the guy to tell him why he was pretending to be their boss. If he doesn't tell the truth, Mr. Chen will call the security and they will arrest him. Li Taishuan replied that if the manager does not believe him, then he should go and call the manager of this hotel. The man started screaming. Did this damn kid decide to finish him off? He must have heard that their Vice President Jiang has important documents that need to be signed in the next 2 days. So he can't come, so he deliberately came there to find him. Mr. Chen said that if he didn't teach them a lesson today, all kinds of stray dogs would dare to come there and pretend to be their bosses. Walking out the door, he told the guards to arrest the lying guy. Qin Yun told the guy to forget about it. His cousin had been poor since childhood. He had always been at the bottom of the social ladder, and now he decided to play pretend. He asked Mr. Chen not to deal with him. They all understand who he is now. Mr. Chen replied that today he would let him go for Mr. Li's sake if the guy ever comes out again, then let him pray that he doesn't see him. The guy asked her father to wait a little. He needed to make a call outside. After showing the watch to his cousin, Qin Yun began to brag that he bought it last month on a business trip. Looking at them, the girl said that they were so beautiful, they must be worth a lot of money. He replied that they were so expensive, 200,000 or so. After the guy, everyone started showing off their watches. The man thought that if it weren't for the fact that his Shui Yun was a special person, he wouldn't dare to be such a respected person, and he wouldn't have anything. The woman also showed the watch on her hand and said that it was a gift from Qin Yun. The guy replied that she didn't need to thank him. If anyone needed to be thanked, it was his stupid director. Li Chenlin asked the stupid director, "What is he talking about?" The guy said that just let them think that when he goes abroad on business, he spends government money, it's all free money. Once, in 3 days, he changed the 3 best 7-star hotels, travel, houses, cars, and watches, and all this for the money received from the construction of a new complex. Even the tuition fee is withheld from him every year, and it is still not his fault. Let them not forget, their school is private for aristocrats. The children who go to this school are from rich families. They are clearly not poor. And their main school is in Huzhou, where the mountains are high and the emperor is far away. That's why he says they should also be grateful to his confused superiors. Without their generosity, they would not have such watches. Li Taishuan turned on the recorder and asked the guy what the name of his school was. He replied that the school is an Eastern Star for aristocrats. Has he heard of her? The main school is located in Huzhou. Qin Yun asked, "Does the guy really want to become a teacher at their school?" Unfortunately, their school already has all the teachers it needs, and there are no available places. The man told his son that, as the deputy director, he should give the guy a helping hand. He replied that exactly. They just lost a janitor last week. The guy doesn't want to be a janitor first? At least it's close to home. Li Taishuan replied that he didn't want the guy to worry about his work, but he would advise him not to take money he didn't deserve. Otherwise, Qin Yun might die if he didn't. The girl said that if the guy has enough courage, then let him buy his father a watch. Suddenly, looking at the man, she saw a watch on his hand. The girl realized that the watch that the third uncle was wearing on his hand, she thought she had seen it before on a global luxury jewelry website. Although at first glance they look very inconspicuous, they were sold at an astronomical price. The guy told Xiao Yu that it was just a broken watch. What was wrong with it? If he wants, he can buy her a truckload of such watches. The girl answered her brother that a promise is a promise. She takes him at his word. The guy thought that only Li Taishuan, his father, would wear such a cheap watch. What a shame. The girl told the guy in the ear that her uncle's watch was almost identical to the watch she knew called platinum. Their official price is 700,000 US dollars, which is almost 5 million yuan. Qin Yun couldn't believe it. He thought it couldn't be. The guy stood up from his chair and shouted not to make him laugh. This watch is just a fake. He told Li Taishuan that a big donkey would not make an elephant if he continued. They would only despise him more. He couldn't believe that a poor man could afford a 5 million yuan watch. Suddenly, a man came through the door and said that if they were interested in whether this watch was real or fake, then they should let him help them identify it. Qin Yun began to ask, "Doesn't he see what they are eating there? A man can't just walk in there," he'll complain to the manager. Approaching the guy's father, the man asked if he could lend him his watch. Handing out his business card, it was written that he was the director of the 10th Council of the Watch Industry Association, Mr. Zhang. Taking the watch in his hands, he began to examine it carefully. The man told the mister that he gives his word as the director of the Watch Association in the city. This is a real Swiss watch, and also the #1 collectible in the world from the Platinum Collection. And he personally had the impression that this watch seemed to have been sold at auction to the woman CEO Ouyang Pei for more than 5 million. Li Taishuan immediately thought that he did not know that the watch that the girl gave to her father was so expensive. She really had kind heart. Qin Yun couldn't believe that Li Taishuan's father's watch was worth 5 million. His 200,000 yuan watch was not even close to it. Everyone sitting there immediately began to cover their watches. The brothers thought that the third oldest was putting on a watch for 5 million, but he still behaved like a complete redneck. They have seen many people pretend to be poor, but they have never seen such good pretenders. Lao Li couldn't believe that the day would come when he would see such sour faces on his eldest brother and second brother. After this, He will ask the guy to thank the girl for him. Suddenly, Mr. Chen runs into them again. He said that he just found out that Mr. Lee called him again. Did something happen? Suddenly, he saw Vice President Jiang in front of him and asked why he was there. Turning to Director Lee, he apologized for keeping him waiting. As soon as the man received his call, he immediately arrived. At the moment, he is the only one who knows about the change of the hotel's legal representative. The rest of the management doesn't know, not to mention the little manager, who of course doesn't know about it. Vice President Jiang told the guy that Director Lee recently took office, and he, the front desk manager, has the audacity to cause him problems. Qin Yun asked Mr. Chen what was going on there. The guy told him to shut up. He was the one who started it all, and he was also asking him about something. Bowing to the director, the guy began to ask for forgiveness from Director Lee and said that he did not know who he was. Li Taishuan replied that he should not call him that. He was only there to completely understand. Wasn't that the guy who tried to kick him out with security earlier? After slapping him, the guy stood up and grabbed him by the neck. He said that now he will force his dog eyes not to look down on people. He will show everyone what happens to people like this guy. Everyone immediately lowered their heads. Li Taishuan told him that he was only alive because the director allowed him to live. Qin Yun thought that the guy must have deliberately bullied him. Li Taishuan shouted that he was fired, let him go pick up his salary and then get out of there. Chen begged Mr. Lee to have mercy on him. He really needed this job. Falling to his knees, he began to say that he had to pay the mortgage every month, without income his entire family, and he would go around the world. Li Taishuan replied that if he really valued this work, he would not have become Qin Yun's henchman. The atelier should greet all guests with a smile. A snob like him doesn't deserve to work in this hotel. Let him get out of there. Of course, if he can't find a job, he can ask his friend. They just need a janitor for their school. Li Taishuan told the vice president to throw the rest of the people out too. They are also not welcome in his hotel. The security approached everyone and said they heard what their director said, so please don't force them out of there. Approaching the guy, the woman said that they had been with him since he was little. He replied that if his aunt loved him so much, then why when his father went to her house to borrow money, they didn't lend them a dime? And after all this, she simply drove his father away, thereby breaking his heart. She replied that he didn't understand everything correctly. Why don't they come and visit their father tomorrow? She will cook a delicious meal, and he and his uncle will talk about it and clear up all the misunderstandings. Li Taishuan shouted at her to get out. The woman asked how dare he talk to her like that. She's his aunt. He doesn't respect her at all. Angry, the guy shouted even louder for them to get out. The man said that something was clearly wrong there. How can this guy and his father, having no money or background, afford to buy a watch for $5 million? And how could he become the owner of a 3-star hotel? Li Chenglin replied that he was right. There must be something going on there. It was so sudden that they were all probably deceived by the child. Looking back, it was all too strange. Qin Yun asked that guy who won the lottery, or maybe he robbed a bank, or maybe he was selling drugs. The man replied that he suggested taking care of that boy right away and continuing to stick to the plan. The man said that he recently heard that Zhang Jiang's nephew was beaten by this guy, so they can direct the man to him. Li Chenglin asked, "Isn't the guy rich? He will force them to give up all their money." Qin Yun suggested that his father also start digging under him. He would ask his friend in Huzhou to find out more about Li Taishuan. The man told his brother that he heard that the owner of the Avenue of Thousand Flowers came to Yunju, and he is a great man, as well as a great sponsor of their family. Many of the Li family's properties are in partnership with Thousand Flower Avenue, and this time he is investing all of his family's money in this business. Therefore, they must find out where this great man is, and at any cost establish friendly relations with him. He said that once this project is implemented, they will earn hundreds of millions a year. The man will see how Li Taishuan can show off to him. He will simply crush him with money. Qin Yun said that you are not worried here. He is good at making connections. The guy is just a rich man. He no longer has any power. Li Chenglin said it's all because Xue Yun was late on business. Otherwise, the guy wouldn't be able to be so self-confident. When Xue Yun returns home tomorrow, he will ask him to check if this guy has a criminal record, or maybe he is wanted or something like that. He said that if Li Taishuan was really involved in something, then they wouldn't have to go through all these obstacles and the guy would simply arrest him. Lao Li told his son that he was so proud of him at the hotel. The man had not seen his uncle so confused for a long time. The anger that had been in his heart for years was finally released today. The father told the guy that he had already grown up so much that the man couldn't even ask the guy about his secrets as a father. Even though they took it out on them today, his uncles and aunts have been in the city for more than 10 years. If they join forces as father and son alone, will they be able to fight them? The guy thought in terms of experience and wealth, no one can compare with him, the supreme ruler. He is the most powerful patron. Countless superpowers in the universe were to be under his banner and seek his protection. Li Taishuan told his father not to worry. He is there. No one can bully him. They took their property. Sooner or later, the guy will force them to return it all with interest. It will be interesting. The man replied that he believed that the guy would succeed. Alas, gone are the years when he was little and his father protected him. Now that the guy has matured, he has become old and useless. The guy replied that in his heart his father will never be old. From now on he will support the family. Let him just enjoy life. He thought that in the future, when his cultivation reached the innate state, broke through time and space, and ascended to the heavenly realm, he would have to take his father with him. Handing the book to his father, Li Taishuan said that they would teach him the soul technique. He will be able to practice it in his free time. It will help him live longer and become stronger. This is the core technique of the Taishuan sect, which will lay the foundation for his father's future ascension to the immortal world. The man is no longer young. Although he has many powerful techniques, they are not suitable for him to practice. In his previous life in the immortal world, although the guy had billions of stars and his wars were powerful, but there were only endless rivers of blood and cold hearts, he did not have the opportunity to enjoy family life like now. Suddenly, some people burst into them. Li Taishuan asked who he was and who allowed them to break in. It was just another bunch of insects that didn't even have the right to look him in the eye. Lao Li asked, Zhang Jian? The father told the guy to be careful. Their leader's name is Zhang Jian. He is a bandit and has done a lot of bad things. He brought many people to despair and even death. The people of the city secretly call him Skin Rider Zhang. If someone offends him, he is skinned. Lao Li told the guy that they have nothing against him. Why all this crowd? Zhang Jian replied to the old man that he comes whenever he wants, and wherever he wants. His son was beaten by his nephew, so he is there today to get compensation for medical bills. The man has nothing against them, so he asks for 3 million for medical bills. Lao Li, ask your son, is this true? Did he really send his nephew to the hospital? The guy replied that he had shown excessive mercy. Zhang Jian told the old man that his son himself admitted it, so they cannot deny it. He warns that if they don't find 3 million today, he and his brothers will not leave there. The man replied that this was simply outrageous. Where would he get 3 million? Does the guy even understand how unreasonable this is? Zhang Jian replied that he did not care about this. It was his problem. In any case, they must find 3 million today. Otherwise, he's sure they've heard what happens when he gets down to business. Suddenly, Li Chenglin, Qin Yun, and his father appeared. The man asked, how can Zhang Jian bully people there? A few minutes ago. The guy said that it took him all day to find out about Li Taishuan, and let his father guess what he found out. It turns out that the guy was kept by a rich woman in the high society of Huzhou, and became her favorite. Otherwise, where did he get the money to buy a watch for $5 million? Even this three-star hotel is one of the properties of this rich woman. After all, Li Taishuan is just a humble teacher trainee earning a few $1,000s. But this guy has no money now, and the rich woman who took care of him kicked him out. Moreover, they recently came to one family to ask for their hand in marriage, but were sent out the door by the girl's mother, thereby becoming a laughing stock for the entire school. Moreover, the guy's teaching at school was so bad that he failed most of his teaching certifications. He was even bullied by his own students during a lecture, and even the janitor at the school despises him. Eventually, the school decided to appoint him as a security guard, and if he did not perform well again, he would be expelled from the school. The guy also heard that Li Taishuan had angered many rich children in the city and could no longer stay there, so he returned to Yunzhou in disgrace. Qin Yun told her father not to worry. He received this information from Qiao Fei, the deputy director of the Eastern Star Aristocrat School, so it is reliable. The deputy director also emphasized on the phone that they shouldn't look at this guy like millionaires. In fact, his pockets are cleaner than his face. Why then would he even leave Huzhou and flee to his hometown? And that three-star hotel is in Yunzhou after all. The vice president of the hotel didn't know that Li Taishuan was kicked out by a rich woman, so they were deceived by that guy. Li Taishuan specifically told him to leak wrong information. It seems he is already causing problems. He just decided to visit his family, but so much has already happened. The guy asked Qin Yun what he was doing there. He replied that now he finally knows who the guy is. At first he thought he was a big shot, but now he found out that he was the notorious rat in Huzhou who was being bullied by everyone. He seemed unable to stay there any longer, so he returned to his hometown. The guy became useless, so his rich mistress threw him out and he was sent away when he went to propose marriage. And the most humiliating thing is that he is bullied by his own students during the lecture. How can he even be a teacher? Qin Yun heard that he was transferred to the position of gate guard. He is not a teacher, now a guard dog, like mediocrity. He is a disgrace to the Li family. When the guy thinks about what happened at the hotel, he is so angry that he, the deputy director of the Eastern Star in Yunzhou, was fooled by this little loser. He started shouting, how dare a guy pretend to be the owner of a three-star hotel? How dare he show off in front of him? Li Taishuan specifically asked his friend to leak such information so that his father could see the true colors of the family and his uncles. Li Chunglin began to say that now everything is really different. Does the guy really think he's the owner of the hotel? There is no Vice President Jiang to cover for him. The man told Zhang Jian that since this guy is so ungrateful, he should teach him a lesson in life. They immediately began to attack. Li Taishuan said only one word, "Go away," after which everyone immediately began to fly to the sides. His relatives did not understand what kind of strong wind this was. They thought it was strange. It was really strange. How did this guy suddenly become so strong? He was thrown out before he saw what was happening. Li Chenglin said that he was thrown out before he saw what was happening. They just can't take it with ordinary force. They have to find another way. The man said what he thought. This guy's tricks are like old folk magic. Maybe he learned some third-rate magic trick to get rich women in Huzhou. Zhang Jian said that he is not afraid of anything. If that guy can do magic tricks, then he has an uncle who is a famous Taoist priest. He is known as Master Liu, very good at monsters and demons, and is well known in Huzhou. He said that recently his uncle insulted someone in Huzhou, so he had to return to the city. He would call him now. The man replied that they would do. As the guy says, no matter how much it costs, let him bring the master there tonight. They must punish this villain. Qin Yun said that this time they should completely destroy Li Taishuan's family so that they won't bother anyone else. They told the master that this is the place. The man told Zhang Jian that he only agreed to this because he was being bullied. Let them not mention to strangers that he returned to the city only because he insulted someone in Huzhou. At that time, he was careless and fell into that guy's trap, but he trained hard in the city and has kung fu. If the master sees him again, he will make sure he pays for his actions. The guy asked his uncle if he could show them all his supernatural abilities tonight. That guy knows a few tricks, so he's no match for him. He relies on his uncle's strength. Master Liu said that the demonic aura is very strong. It is really a family of demons. Everyone immediately began to ask, what is the demonic aura? They don't see anything, can they really not see it? Qin Yun told his uncle and father that the master said, there is a demonic aura. That means there is a demon. He knew there was something wrong with the guy. Master Liu could see right through them. Handing him an envelope, the guy asked, please, let this monster stop and save their family from this evil. While they are sleeping peacefully, you need to get rid of them forever. Master Liu said that, as a righteous man, he certainly would not sit idly by. The man is going to use poison to destroy this family of evil demons. This ghost emperor is a scorpion treasure that the master caught on Sangmang Mountain. It is born to devour the ghost people. He used hundreds of poisons and ghost ki to feed him. The master wanted to save it for this child from Huzhou, but since this is the case, he will show it to them tonight. Master Liu said that this creature obeys only him. No matter what magic the guy knows, it cannot compare with his ghostly scorpion. They replied that great, then they are waiting for the master with good news tomorrow. Master Liu replied that at dawn they would be able to pick up the bodies. He told the little one to have as much fun as she wants tonight. It's family and her midnight snack. Let him enjoy his dinner. Lan Wu asked, is this big scorpion trying to destroy the whole house? Jumping down, Master Liu asked who was there. Yin Feng grabbed the old man by the throat and said that this was his question. Who the hell is he? And how dare he break into Master Li's villa in the middle of the night and do whatever he wants? The guy is a little brat. The master said he was warning him not to touch him. He replied that he was Master Liu. Only Master Chen, who lived in the mountains, could compare with him. Has the guy heard of such a master? If he finds out who he is, he will be scared to death. After hitting him, Yin Feng replied that Master Chen was his teacher. How dare he use his teacher's name to deceive? And even his teacher can't compare to Master Li. They're damn worthless. The Ghost Emperor Scorpion has never seen adversity, but this female doll dared to hold her tail. The scorpion sprayed poison directly at Lan Wu. The girl said that she was, however, a brave insect, and then beat her. She saw that this scorpion was feeding on demonic energy. What a rare delicacy for her. Lan Wu told Yin Feng to take care of the old man and the wasps he brought here. The guy replied that he would be happy. As for the scorpion, maybe she wants to be fried or baked, or maybe deep fried. The scorpion looks pretty tasty. Qin Yun told his father that a whole night had already passed. It must be all over with the Li Taishuan family. What could possibly go wrong? Turning to the guy, he asked why Zhang Jian didn't tell them about Master Liu earlier. They wouldn't have taken so long. Li Chenglin replied that the guy was right. Today is not only the day of remembrance of the Li family's ancestors, but also the day when they choose their next head, so they can still have time to return to the mansion and prepare. The man told his brother that they would all, of course, support him. This is just a formality. Everyone knows that he is the next head of the Li family. Qin Yun asked if father had finished. He can't wait to enter the house and see Li Taishuan's corpse. The guy said that for such an occasion he specially invited professionals from abroad to pick up Li Taishuan's body. The father said that it was so generous of him that he even invited foreigners to take his corpse. Qin Yun said that they would not be sad, but would have fun and listen to festive music. Kicking the door open, the guy shouted that they were there to take Li Taishuan's corpse. Seeing them, Li Taishuan asked if his cousin was disappointed that he was not dead. Why did Li Qingyun remain silent? Let him continue to talk. The guy heard everything he just said on the street. Qin Yun asked why the guy is still alive. What is Master Liu doing anyway? The master shouted for the guy to disappear. He had already even fled to Yunzhou, but they forced him to offend Mr. Li a second time, and even his precious scorpion would now be eaten. Turning to the old man, Lan Wu told him that his precious scorpion was truly amazing. She ate too much. After eating this scorpion, the girl returned the ghostly energy that she spent on using her true appearance. Li Taishuan said that it looks like Master Liu was not lying. They were the ones who ordered him to do all this. Turning to his father, the guy asked, "Now does he see what these people really are like?" Qin Yun asked if the master had betrayed them. The man called him a damn charlatan and said that he took so much money from them and couldn't even handle this little thing. Lao Li replied that that's enough. There's no need for these extra words. The man never thought that the two of them would go this far to do something so terrible. Li Chenglin said that even if the third brother found out about everything, so what? Would he really dare to attack them? The brother added that he wanted to tell him something. Let him listen to him. Today's ancient ritual is the election of the next head of the Li family, and the only successor worthy of the head position is the eldest brother. If he goes against the third brother now, then he will go against the next head of the Li family, as a result of which he and his son will be expelled from the family bloodline. Zhang Jiang told the old man that he didn't beat him up yesterday only because he gave him a chance, but since he doesn't know what he's doing, those 3 million medical bills are still in effect. If he doesn't give them back, he and the guys will break his house into pieces right now. Qin Yun added that if he dares to go against them, there will be serious consequences. Suddenly, these two received a blow. The man began to shout, "How dare the guy beat his boy?" He told his brother that he was returning to tell the old leader that those two ignorant people needed to be driven out. Li Taishuan asked, "Wants to kick him out?" "Great. Then today the guy will settle things with the Li family." He told his father that a little later they would go with him to the old mansion of the Li family. Master Chen asked Master Li what he was going to do with these people. Master Liu couldn't believe that even Master Chen from Tsangmang Mountain bowed down to this guy, and he dared to go against him again. He wouldn't be as good as his surroundings even if he returned to cultivation for 100 years. Hanging on the guy's leg, Master Liu began to say that he realized everything, asks for forgiveness for how recklessly he acted. If he knew that it was him, he would not have had the courage to go against him. Li Taishuan asked to let him go. Wasn't he the one who tried to kill the guy with his parasites at night? The guy said he hadn't seen him for a long time. I wonder if he cured his old fear of ghosts. The guy told Master Chen that since he dared to deceive under his name, he would leave the man to him. Chen Sikong replied to the master that he has a way to deal with these old scum who are afraid of ghosts. This spirit eats a piece from the soul. Within half an hour they will be extremely incontinent of their shit, and all human faces will be terrifying evil spirits to them. The old man asked what they were doing. After slapping everyone, he began shouting that they were a useless pile of crap. They can't even handle it on their own at all. Let them take them away. He'll figure it out completely on his own. Seeing his father, Li Shuiyun asked, "Who did this to him? Is it really that damn Li Taishuan's fault?" Bowing to the old head, the guy said that he must take action for their sake. The girl said that it was time to go to the old mansion of the Li family and return all the property that was stolen from his uncle. See who dares to stop them today? The old head asked, how dare he say that no one will stop him? He asked what kind of son Lao Li raised. The man asked what the old patriarch was doing there. He told the man that today was an important day to choose the next head of the Lai family. He and his son were not allowed to visit the ancestral home because their names were removed from the family tree. Li Taishuan remembered that in his past life, if the old patriarch had not despised his father and made his life difficult, his uncles and aunts would not have dared to treat them like this, and all because the old patriarch supported them. The guy asked, and who was he to forbid him from doing this? Does he represent the interests of their ancestors? The old head asked how he laughed. The milk on his lips was not yet dry to talk to him like that. He replied that it was the guy's father who disobeyed him and insisted on being with that fox. And they gave birth to a son like him. It was all him and his family. It shamefully attracted their Lee family. If the guy wants to blame someone,